Gonna have it. Let's make sure it's accurate. That's right.
It's very visible.
That's right.
It makes sense from this side, not so much from the other side.
Yeah, the other side clearly can see unless lines are buried or closed.
I am now live streaming this room to YouTube, so y'all behave yourselves.
Just got,
I'm not gonna make the same promise.
just got the notification. Basketball almost over? Oh, yeah.
One more game.
One more home game?
My last North game is the second of this meeting is over.
Oh, you gotta go.
Megan knows
Yeah,
already.
I've
So
been.
I would love it if this meeting could be
Only really two agenda items, right?
two. One of them's not worth any kind of discussion. The other one, I could see having some comments, but
Sounds
But the one you and I talked about?
yeah.
Yeah, but again,
Next meeting is the time really to talk about it, but we're kind of in the middle of figuring out the whole, you know,
yeah.
My dad says,
Yep.
so, but don't skip point down.
yep, one more high school game and then frankly, I'm ready for a break. I'm
say.
so burnt out. I used to have conflicts where like I couldn't do high school because I was doing volleyball or women's basketball at Iowa State. I have had no conflicts for the last 3 seasons.
So you've been just booked almost every night.
Every single game I've been doing.
They figured it out.
I'm burnt out. So this is a good time to get some nice weather.
My older kid.
Right around the time that we're wrapping up. Now, I need Iowa State to beat K-State
Yeah.
on senior day, because if they don't, they will have no quad 1 wins, which means they might be playing in the NIT,
Then you'll have to do
which
those
means
So.
I have more games to announce because they do those at home arenas. Because Iowa State draws well, they should definitely be at Hilton Health, which I don't mind doing that. But I'm ready for the season to be over, and I'd like them to go to the regular tournament, not just the NIT. So it is what it is.
What do you announce the games themselves, or are you on a radio program?
No, like in the arena.
He's the guy who gets excited
No
if someone
way.
makes a basket.
Basket so-and-so, point so-and-so,
Much more enthusiastic than that.
1st and 10, Scarlets from the polar bear 1-yard line. That's what
Hey.
That's awesome.
me and my dad are tag teaming the game tonight, just in case I have to be. I shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Welcome.
We'll
Howdy,
go
howdy.
play. How are you?
Good.
I'm instructed to make this quick.
Well,
The dinner reservation. So
I have a job to
I
do.
looked at the agenda. I'm like, I think I can be out of there.
I have a job to do. I will do that job, but there is no reason that this should take a long time.
Where are you going?
We have a friend in town. We're Texas right now. It's nothing fancy.
Oh, that's
Nothing fancy.
that's pretty high up there on the
Yeah,
Forest
that's-
household list.
Instead of 6 degrees, it's 3 degrees.
Very special.
Oh, yeah.
And
My daughter will eat
audiologist.
a half
Oh my
dozen.
gosh.
By the time her food shows up, and it's like, oh, you gotta eat? Like, yes.
Share stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, they do feel good.
Yep, these are brand new.
Oh.
Make sure you don't have both of these handles. Are they both up? Because if you have them both up, then there's no resistance, and it feels like you're gonna die.
But now they know me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, Art.
You have.
Howdy.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah.
Good.
Need both of them down. If you wanna have no
I mean, I'm-
resistance.
Rocks a little bit, but gosh, that was like.
Things warming up a little bit. Oh, man, oh, man.
No.
I'll take it. Golfing on Thursday.
Watch out on that chair if you need resistance. It's this thing here, so.
Thanks, Ellie.
Excuse me.
If they're both up, you've got it's a little scary.
You can do anything, I think.
They should sit up straight.
Yeah. guess before we get started, I just wanted to say that I don't think this is gonna happen, but if we have a similar interruption as to what happened on Thursday last week, I'm going to kill the Zoom meeting
That's fine.
immediately and not reopen it,
Okay,
just FYI.
okay.
So I'll probably need to boot up my phone and record the meeting or something.
They do. I guess that's for attention. That's
Okay.
Just gonna leave Elizabeth on.
I was just trying to mix it up.
I didn't give it a chance. It's fine.
Elliot, are these two coming? That you know?
Andrew is not. He just emailed me that he's driving. I'm not sure what the situation is with Brent exactly. I think initially he needed the Google event on his calendar, and I only had it scheduled like once a month instead of twice, but I fixed that. I haven't heard from him in a while. I'll probably. So. If you want to scoot over, Elizabeth, yeah. Otherwise, tech is good to go.
Okay. No Luke tonight. No George
His
tonight.
son's birthday, I think, is tonight. So they're, I don't know, having dino nuggets somewhere.
That's the way I want to spend my birthday.
For car title, tax and registration.
Oh, yeah.
My birthday was the day of the Big 12 championship game this year in football. That was not great. Didn't really enjoy that.
Sharon already. I will now call to order the February 24th, 2025 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. The time is 5:45 PM. Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Samuelson,
Here.
Force,
Here.
Eaton,
Here.
Hinders, Thompson,
Here.
Steiger, Reagonator.
Here. Item number 3 is the approval of tonight's agenda. Any changes to this evening's agenda? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion and a second to approve tonight's agenda.
Thompson motions.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 4 is the approval of the February 10th, 2025 meeting minutes. Any changes to those minutes? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion and a second to approve the February 10th, 2025 minutes.
Forced a motion.
Samuelson will second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'd like to welcome the guests that have joined us here in person tonight and anyone who's joined us on the Zoom. Is there anyone here in person who would like to make a comment on an item that is not on tonight's agenda? And I don't think there's anyone on the Zoom. So we'll move on to our first substantive item, public hearing and recommendation on a zoning amendment to change 7680 County Line Road from AR Agricultural Reserve to RE1 Single Family Rural Estates. Since this is a public hearing, we'll open that at 5:46 PM. Elliot, would you brief us on this item, please?
Yep, this one's pretty straightforward. So this address is part of a plat that was done out in the county in 1978. And anytime the city annexes land from the county, the zoning defaults to ag reserve. So that's what it is right now. I believe this is part of the western annexation that occurred in 2007. So it was developed in the style of the target zoning class. So we thought it was appropriate. The reason that this is being requested is that the applicants would like to expand their house, don't have the room to do so because of AR setbacks. The RE1 setbacks would grant them the space needed. So that's it. Staff recommendation is for approval. Happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Elliot. Would the applicant or the applicant's representative like to make a comment on item 6?
No.
Okay. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. All right. Any members of the public like to comment on item 6? Any questions from the commission before we close the public hearing? Hearing nothing, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 5:48 PM. And now, commissioners, we can deliberate on this item and make a motion. And if there's no deliberation, I would entertain a motion to approve the zoning amendment to change.
Forceful motion.
Second.
Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Thompson.
Aye.
Samuelson.
Aye.
Force.
Aye.
Eaton.
Aye.
Reginator.
Aye. Thank you, everyone. Item number 7 is another public hearing and recommendation on a zoning amendment to change 1421 Sunset Drive from C2 Community Commercial to Infill Planned Unit Development with C2 uses. We'll open this public hearing at 5:49 PM. Elliot, would you brief us on this item, please?
Yep, so we've talked about this lot, I believe, before at P and Z for a number of reasons. This is a redevelopment lot that had a single family house on it up until recently. Doing research for this was kind of interesting because I try to go back as far as I can with the zoning history, and near as I can tell, this has been zoned C2 like since the 50s. The house was built in 1950 though, so just interesting timeline. So the setbacks for C2, however, have changed as our zoning codes have changed. Off the top of my head, I don't remember what they were back in 1959, but I can tell you right now that currently 94% of the lot is setback space because of C2 setbacks. It was less than half that back in 1959. I can confidently say that. So we decided to go with the infill PUD route, basically writing custom setbacks for the property. If we follow the public hearing process like we're doing here and will once the next council meeting occurs, that's the way to do this. So what we've done is we took the site concept from the applicant, which looks like this, and basically wrote the ordinance to mimic the setback scenario here. So this has a 10-foot setback on the north, 10 foot to the west, and then 15 to the east. The reason it's 15 to the east is because that's the width of a water main easement that sits on the lot. Public Works is not going to be real happy if someone puts a building on a water main easement and then has to go do work on a pipe. So we had them put it at 15. We didn't want to have, even if that water main wasn't there, we didn't want to have it be like 0 or 10 feet just because of the adjacent building having a setback of about 30 feet. I think that's probably just a little bit too much variation on a higher-ish speed / traffic road. The reason that we wanted to do that is because, or to have the setback further towards the highway, is just because the driveway entrance is still kind of being nailed down. And that's more of a site plan element, but just wanted to mention that that's the reason why. So we're getting that cleared with the DOT. And you guys will see an actual site plan for this at a later date. So right now, this is just the rezoning to allow for a site concept like this. Happy to take any questions. We did not receive any public comment or inquiry of any sort on this item.
Elliot? Would the applicant or the applicant's representative like to make a comment on item 7?
Good evening, Commission members. Jason Lennon with Snyder and Associates here representing the applicant, Dr. Kelly Cook, who's here with me as well as the architect Corey Sharp with FEH Architecture. As Elliot mentioned, we are still working on determining that drive access location with the type of use of this facility and the audiology component we are trying to avoid proximity to the highway and the road noise. So kind of still working through that right now. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions from the commissioners? Josh?
So I think you said it's gonna come on a different, like a site plan, but would the building not be parallel to the highway? It would be like, it's just everything else.
Correct. Yeah, it'd be more like the Young and Co. building. That building is square north-south, but located on the diagonal.
And that was for the parking is what I'm remembering to that. I was trying to.
That sounds right. Yeah. It's always hard when you're dealing with an angled lot to know exactly where to put it. I mean, the one to the south is angled towards the highway. They could do that if they want to. You don't have to make them do that, as long as they have a building meeting setbacks. Acceptable to us.
I just didn't know for like continue, I can't say the word,
Sightline
continuity.
continuity.
Continuity, that's it. If we would give it all in line or not, but
There's an advantage to that. There's also an advantage to, I guess, sight lines from the corner if you're turning on to the highway or off to the left or the right.
Would that eat into parking too, if they had to shift it to make, the same sightline when they carve out, maybe 2 or 3 of those far east parking
Probably,
spots?
I'd lean on Jason to comment on that,
to the
but
back maybe.
some of it's just site geometry.
Yeah.
So with the size of the lot, and the shape of the lot being angled into that northeast corner, yeah, it would eat into the parking. And with us having smaller parking on this to begin with, then that is part of the PUD as well, as asking for a little bit of a variance on the parking. It makes it very, very minimal.
Would push that driveway closer to the highway too, which I guess is my main problem with it, but I've talked through Elliot with it, so
We do think we're improving this intersection. We are eliminating an access on the highway and putting it up on high, so we think that helps, especially with businesses on the east side of the highway. I think those have kind of developed and they're all there, and then just to the south here, there's access subsequently after that.
Questions for Jason? Called you Josh earlier.
That's
I knew it was Jason right when I said it too. Any other questions from the commission? Any public comment on item number 7? Thanks, Jason. We'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 5:55 p.m. Now we can deliberate, commissioners, on this item. It sounds like the parking situation and the entrance is something we'll have more questions, more comments when it comes site plan time, but I think we're all in agreement about the zoning change.
does the existing residential fence that's on the west side of that lot take care of any buffer requirements, I'm assuming?
We've kind of left that up to the applicant and the neighbors.
Okay.
Our understanding is that they've spoken about it. My understanding is that that fence was built by the neighbors on the property that we're talking about today. Am I remembering that right,
Yes.
guys? So there's, yeah, that's an element of what's going on.
There's ongoing conversation.
Diplomatic. Any other deliberation? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the zoning amendment to change 1421 Sunset Drive from C2 Community Commercial to the infill plan unit development with C2 uses.
Thompson second.
Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Thompson,
Aye.
Samuelson,
Aye.
Forrest,
Aye.
Eaton,
Aye.
Hinders,
Aye.
Reginator.
Aye. Thanks, everyone. George is not with us tonight. He is in Florida, so boo George. I don't think Holly joined us on Zoom.
You said the forecast there was for it to be like 50 degrees.
No way.
So we may actually have it better.
We got better.
Yeah. Grass isn't always greener,
Yeah.
George.
Holly hasn't joined us tonight. Luke isn't here. Elliot, any update for us?
I'm projecting to have items for the next meeting. I don't know how spring break, what week is spring break this year?
The following week.
10th to the 14th?
Next week.
17th to 21.
Okay, so I know that we're canceling this, the second council meeting
Okay.
of the month. If we feel like adjusting our schedule because of spring break, like, just let me know. But I do do have some items moving forward. So sounds like the 10th and 24th are not during spring break.
Correct.
So I'll just let you guys know what it looks like on the agenda front.
So our next meeting will be March 10th, like Elliot said. I will now entertain a motion and a second to adjourn.
Forced motion. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned at 5.